Okay.
Not unless they get raucous sometime. Okay. Yeah. 7:01. Let's call this meeting to order. This is the Community Preservation Committee. This is our annual public information meeting. And I'll ask again, is anybody logged in remotely? No, okay. You know what the drill is in terms of what we do and how we do it and what we've done and how we've done it, and everybody's happy in this room. I'm assuming, Kim, that you're happy too, at least for the moment. Okay. So I would like just to have Caitlin put in the file the proof of publication, newspaper publication for this meeting. And I'd like to, before we start the business part of the meeting, I had an idea, just in terms of trying to, spread out, and mine for ideas for, projects in the city. That those of you that represent, a board, that you put on, an agenda for a board meeting coming up, just to talk about what kind of projects your board could think of and possibly want to put together an application before the December deadline this year. Obviously, if that's too quick, but at least it gets the ball rolling and realize that that's where fertile areas for projects in the areas that you represent. For those of you at large, talk to your friends, friends and family, and see what they like, what they dislike. I know it's at this point, since we've been doing this for over 20 years, people we're kind of just part of the wallpaper now, and it might even be a yawn for them, and there's generally not a lot of disputes about the projects that we hear about. And we're consistently still getting 12 to 15 projects a year to look at. So it's not like, we're bankrupt for projects. If we don't see stuff we like, we can always put it in reserve. So, in any event, that being my little public information meeting comment. Anybody else have any comments? No? Good. We'll move on to the business meeting. Okay. We have
Roll call. Roll call.
roll call for those present?
Yeah.
Okay.
You typically do. Just making sure.
Yeah. For our note taker, we will do a roll call. Okay. Randy Healy.
Here.
Chuck Griffin. Here. Tom O'Brien.
Here.
Joe Texera.
Here.
Jamie Gagnon.
Here.
Jennifer Bluestein.
Here.
Biff Bowden.
Here.
Andrew Wheatman.
Here.
And the chair is here. Okay. Here. Great. And it's good to see you, Kim. Back in the saddle. Okay. Elections for chair and vice chair. Chair will entertain nominations.
I nominate Mike Doucette for chair.
Second. Any discussion?
He's a fabulous chair of our committee.
Any primary challenge?
No.
Can't we do a year-long campaign or something? All right.
Knock yourself out.
Good discussion then, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, I'll entertain nominations for vice chair.
Nominate Jane Healy for vice chair.
Second.
Are you willing?
I am not.
I know you're able. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
That was that. Was not a full throat.
Thank you all for your support.
It's been a lot.
It's been a long day.
All right, we've got a proposed, review schedule here. Note the applications is due December 12. So you want to make sure you, get a hold of them however you want them and, be ready for, looks like Thursday, January 15, schedule review meeting. 29th would be, presentations number 1, it's January 29th. February 5, presentations number 2, and Thursday, March 5, presentations. Then we would have the proposed order and recommendations to city council before the end of March. Does that work with the total schedules? Everybody's got their phone, they're looking at it. Okay. Well, looks good to me.
And we have this room for all of these meetings.
This room,
This room,
okay.
yep.
I think that works. We haven't had any overflow. I don't think we've had an overflow. Like, remember when the soccer field was on and every kid that ever played soccer was in the auditorium?
Pressure.
So every kid.
Yes.
That was great. All right, then, let's put that on your calendars. And, of course, the most important one would be, the March 5th deliberations. Obviously, if you need to miss a presentation meeting, you'll just need to do your homework and read all the applications and, look at the draft minutes, to see what was presented in your absence.
And that schedule was sent to you in the staff report in my email,
Oh, yeah,
so you can get it there
I'm
too.
sorry. I'm reading off the staff report. Okay, yeah. You have received a copy of the draft budget, and this, as usual, is our best guess at the moment. With estimates about what the state match might be, and it looks like we're using, what, 15%? Something
Almost
like that.
16, yeah.
Okay. And, the numbers look remarkably consistent with last year, actually. And if I'm correct, I believe that there's 4,400 in additional monies coming back from one of the closed out.
Yep, you'll hear about more
Things that-
project closeouts
Yeah,
tonight.
okay,
So this is a little bit lower than what it actually is.
okay, yeah. Okay, so keep the draft budget in mind. That's right now, that's the number we're gonna be working with at 1.162 to start. Tim, you're actually here on the agenda. I'm sorry, I just thought you were here to answer questions for your reports, but happy to hear an update from the mayor's office.
Great, thank you. Is it okay if I sit here? Can everyone hear me? Because we have so many projects from sort of a single source, I thought it would be a good idea to give you an update on everything that I personally have been working on as a project manager for CPC projects, and actually this is timely for your dollar amount because we're actually gonna be giving quite a bit of money back to you. So if you want to go to the first slide there, Caitlin. The first project is the downtown lighting in the park. So this is the historic lights in Patrick Tracy Square and In Street and Market Square that were replaced with the historic form LED lights to be more environmentally sensitive and higher efficiency. So we were able to complete the 31 lights. This project was under budget. We have $7,375 left in the account. I did reach out to the city electrician today. Unless the CPC would want him to buy some additional spare parts if one of these lights should break. He doesn't have a need for this additional $7,377, so I think we could close it out and return that funding to you, but it's a question he wanted me to ask you.
Is there a city policy for, standard, here's what we keep in inventory?
Not really,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a committee member, but it's
No.
through the chair, just a question, I think you know probably better from talking to you, but I, just in general, I know these are sort of lower maintenance, I think in general, but would, I don't know if he commented at all whether he desire to have any particular.
He didn't have a strong opinion about it. He, I think, was just saying, hey, we have this $7,000 left over. What would be a potential use for it? And the only thing he could come up with was to purchase some spare parts, but otherwise, we just thought we would bring it to you as, would you rather just have the funding back?
Well, if there were a policy in place that
There
with the
isn't.
capital, investment, some spare parts were always acquired, I'd say go for it, but since there isn't a policy in place, I think the spare parts fall into a maintenance category.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be,
So this
No-
would be
no spare
funding
parts.
to return.
okay.
Yeah, I think we would return the entire $300, you know. All right, next project. This was, I think, already listed on the earlier report you said, but the first phase of the Hill Street Gardens, and this is that neighborhood, that last year their phase one, or 2 years ago, their phase one was to replace, the fencing, the chain link fence with this ornamental fence that was completed. $12,100 was returned. It came in under budget. Next slide. Atkinson Rock Tower, I know we've been coming before you for a number of phases on this. This year, what we were able to do is repoint some of the exterior masonry and do a little bit of purging of the interior masonry of the walls. Happy to say the project is complete. I did have some pictures there so you can see what it looks like. And that project was on budget. Next slide. So this is one I'm gonna discuss with you tonight. The in-street Patrick Tracy Square, if you recall, we had originally requested an additional, a higher dollar amount for this project, and it was reduced during deliberations. Unfortunately, was not able to get bids in within that lower dollar amount, so we are, the bids we got were 56,000 over the budget that we had. So I will leave it up to this board if you would like us to return the full amount and reapply, or I could just reapply for the gap in funding. It's sort of an ongoing conversation, I'm not really sure.
What was the appropriation?
I think it was in 50 to 70,000 range.
That's my recollection.
Something like that. I think we'd originally asked for just over 100 and it was reduced down. But the price of brick has gone up dramatically, which is why, and we also realized that we want to put in tree grates that have a little bit of a bigger, diameter to them so that it's more friendly to the trees that are out there. So that was an additional cost as well.
Mhm.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think the application was initially for a larger area,
It
and when we had
was.
the funding, when we funded only portion
Yeah.
of it. We left it up to you to decide which area, and
And
so
this
it's
is
still, even with a smaller, area, it still
Still
came in
over.
that much of it. Okay.
Any other questions on this one?
So I guess we would say either if we could hold this amount for now and reapply for the gap, or if it's not a project we want to
Is
continue with.
your sense that, if you came back, it would be this scope and you'd use the roughly 116 as your budget number?
I would probably add a contingency to the
Well,
116, yeah.
Okay, but that would be kind of.
Yeah, that would
the
be, and it
range.
would be just for Patrick Tracy Square, it would not be for the in-street location, because the 116 was for just Patrick Tracy Square.
Anybody's thoughts on, option A or option B on this?
Is there any precedent for like how you can things like this in the past in terms of what is
I can't think of.
We did, like, at least we got on that, right? Enough funding for design, I thought.
We didn't have, you know, money come back and then go out again.
Right, they
Yeah.
just called it, like, the city. We just kept giving
Right,
More, so I would think option
yeah,
two
Okay.
would be, there's precedent for that within.
okay, yeah, so it can, I don't know if you heard James.
Sorry, the.
Yeah.
There, some's, they go crazy.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, okay, right. Jane points out the precedent we had was the rail trail was over a number of years,
Yeah.
a number of discrete portions of the project. And it kind of blended, and the city basically kind of held money, rolled it forward, held money, rolled it forward, until it got done. So that is precedent for the gap, the application being referenced being the gap.
Plus, we're getting $20,000 returns so far in your presentation, right?
Yeah.
To help.
Okay.
Were there
So
any,
far in the presentation, we haven't gone to.
were there any bids done? I'm assuming the bids were just done for packages.
Just for this, yes.
Okay, not,
Lower Atkinson Common, happy to say we're nearing completion on this project. We have just over $8,000 remaining in the account, of which we have purchased the last of the canopy trees. Those started to go in today, very exciting. So, I have an invoice. We're expecting, once the invoice for the trees is paid off, we'll have roughly $3,400 left to give back to the CPC.
Excellent. Did that runoff problem get solved? You know,
The runoff from the Founder's Fields.
yeah, there was an issue with a runoff and a puddling and.
Oh, yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
We were able to use a private donation from the Pioneer League to replace that.
And that's the drainage on the softball field?
No, two different things. So there
Right.
was a puddling issue and the parking area along Merrimack Street. That we just had to reset one of the catch basins, and that's now been remedied.
Yeah.
There's also some, you can see in that bottom left picture, that field. When we renovated it, the pitch was a little off, and so there is some runoff from that field heading towards the parking lot, but we've installed a silt sock and it seems to have held so far, so we're not getting the wash off. And as the seed continues to germinate, we'll help with that as
Yeah.
well.
That's very good.
Good job.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, like, it's such a dramatic improvement in that area.
I
It
agree.
was such a dangerous situation now, like,
Mm.
like so bad.
And I will say, now that the canopy trees along Merrimack are in, you can see what it's going to be
Yeah.
in time. It's gonna be a drastic improvement to that streetscape overall.
The neighbors happy or?
Yeah, everyone seems happy, so it's good.
Glad to hear.
Oh, and if you get a chance, go to the back to the stormwater wetland, which is that top right picture with the cardinal flowers. and
Very cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Knock tennis courts, I'm happy to say, are complete, and that project was also on budget.
As someone who tries to get on those all the time, because they're down the road from my house, I can tell you they are used all the time with people waiting out. I mean, they are constantly in. That's good.
Perkins Shade, this was on your prior, update that I think Caitlin had. A project is complete and we were able to return just under $3,000. Bartlett Mall project. So where we are with this project is, we are awaiting final paperwork and believe we are going to be receiving the $775,000 grant from the state for this, which will help tremendously in getting this project over the finish line. We are also working with our engineering team to reduce the scope substantially so that we will not be dewatering and lining, but we will be able to improve the water quality using some newer technology, which I'm still working with the city's limnologist to make sure it's going to work. Because of this, we have not advanced the fountain project yet. We still have 126,000, I believe, that's been sitting there for a while. I appreciate your patience. I'm hoping you will bear with me for another year, because I'm optimistic that between the state grant and the reduction in the scope of the project, we can hopefully get this project going.
And you're pursuing an official request for a year extension on
I am
the funds?
asking for that, yes.
Okay, let's talk about that. Anybody have any questions about that? You're pretty confident that the year is what you need, you know?
I am.
Rather than, yeah, because I know.
I know.
This has been snake bit a few times.
I know, yeah. I think the state grant will help, and the reduction in the scope will help, so.
So the state's still doing stuff like that.
This is a funding source, Land and Water Conservation Fund, that is funded by offshore drilling. And has therefore been able to survive the federal cuts.
Do you know what the timing is for when?
We're still waiting the final paperwork, and once we receive that, we will have to have the grant accepted through city council, which I don't think will have our paperwork lined up in time for them to meet their last meeting of the session. So I think we're gonna have to wait until January to go before them.
So entertain a motion to approve the 1 year extension on this appropriation.
I so moved.
Oh, you-
Go ahead.
okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Jeff will make
I'll
the
second.
You'll second the motion. Any discussion or questions for Tim? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Next slide. Woodman Accessibility Project, if you recall, we removed some plastic edging around the playground in Woodman and rerouted the walkway, which was not ADA accessible, from the parking lot, and created a switchback using a material that is recognized as being accessible. It's like a compacted gravel material. Originally, the intent was to hire a contractor to do this work, but we were able to do it in-house. So we did it for far less money, so we were able to return $45,266 back to the CPC.
Yes.
Well done.
And I will say it looks really good.
Well, it does, looks
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Still more work to be done there, but this is a good start. Next slide. Women basketball court, similarly, we were able to resurface that court. The neighborhood then requested to paint pickleball lines there, and we had some additional contingency funding, which we came before and asked you about. So we were able to do that work and still able to return just over $1,000 on the project.
Excellent.
At Wood Basketball Court, this was just awarded to us this. However, we were able to put this out to bid fairly quickly and award the contract. And so in very short turnaround, it was about a 3-month turnaround. We got this project completed and it's under budget. So we're able to return $4,480 back to the CPC.
Who, I noticed all the parks, who determines whether it's half court or full court? Because the ones that are, that I live right across the street from there, that was used to be a full court one. Now it's a half court, and the same thing with the Bartlett Mall, used to be a full court basketball, now it's half court.
This was a full court?
Or before, I'm talking, you know,
Okay.
I'm 80 years old, I'm also. What's that?
Where Garrison Gardens is that what you mean? Because this would not be big enough to be a full court.
No, the court used to be up farther,
Yes,
you know, and that was full court, and that's, you know,
that was converted to green space before my
Right.
time. I'm not sure.
green space, and they didn't want kids there, so I remember that. We came for the city council, and
Okay,
I asked how come there wasn't any thing for youngsters, well, we don't want them in there. Oh, thanks, okay, I vote no.
It's before my time.
But I just noticed some are a half court, some are full court. Who makes that decision, or it's
the
just space?
size Typically, yeah, there's
Yeah.
regulation sizes for basketball courts and the size that's we have available.
And it's too bad about the bottom now, because that was always used as a full court and always busy, and you had to wait in line to play when I grew up, so. But see it half court, at least it's something, and I see the knot's gonna be full court, right?
The knock
Knock
is,
is
there's
full
two full.
Two
courts.
of them, yeah, they look good too, so.
Oh, the other thing about this project, we were able to replace the old backboard with what they call a quiet backboard, because in this dense neighborhood, it's better for the neighbors to have the plexiglass backboard, so,
Thank you.
next slide. So speaking
There it
of
is.
not playground, this has been extremely well received, so thank you for your support on this project. It is complete. We were able to repave the entire playground area and two high school regulation size basketball courts and four square courts. And then the schools also requested that we put a running track around the basketball courts because we have the space for it. So we painted a two lane running track around the basketball courts so that recess the kids can have track races.
So how many times you gotta run around and get a mile?
They do, I've seen them. I know they use
running around.
Who gets the lane with the pole in?
I know.
Yeah.
The two lanes are actually just on that side of the pole, it's deceiving. And at the request of the CPC, we planted 5 shade trees, so there are now, we planted 3 new shade trees down at Low Street to create an extension of the tree canopy over Low Street, and then we added 2 to the 3 that are up closer to the court, so there's 5 total, but we put 2 up high and 3 down at the street level. And I think it's really gonna improve that area quite a bit. Also happy to say this project was under budget and we're returning, just under. Slide. Atkinson Common Lily Pond coping, so I will tell you, we opened the bids for this project today at 11 o'clock. And this is something I wanted to discuss with you. So we have 79,200 from the CPC. The lowest bid, base bid required, that we had required, was to put coping stone on top of the existing, edge there. If you recall, there was a stone there at one point, it was glued down with an epoxy, it popped off. And now you can see the old remnants of the epoxy. Our base bid, after talking with a mason prior to my application last December, was to put a new coping stone on top of that edge. However, after speaking with some contractors and some colleagues in the construction industry, we think it would be better to actually remove the paving stones that have the epoxy on them and saw cut the very top edge of the liner to accept a new stone on a mortar bed instead of just gluing down on top of what's already there. So we bid it out 2 ways, one as we discussed during the application and one as an ad alternate to do this more comprehensive work that we think would last longer. So again, we have 79,200. The base bid from the lowest bidder came in at 71,650, so within our budget. However, the ad alternate was an additional 20,000, so I would be 12,450 over budget if we did the full scope of removing and replacing it. So I think to add a little bit of contingency in there, what I would be asking for is an additional $15,000 to do the coping stone in the way that I think will last longer. I know this is not on your agenda, but I'm throwing it out there as a consideration and I'm happy to come back in December. Or I'm happy to come back at another time if you're choosing.
Well, when do you need to make notification to a successful bidder?
So I could notify the bidder once I check references for the base bid. But I wouldn't want to execute a contract unless I knew if we could do the full thing. So ideally within the next maybe 2 to 4 weeks. Otherwise, we would have to put this back out to bid again if we were to wait till December, which I'm happy to do. I'm not trying to apply pressure here. I'm just telling you the situation.
I think it's appropriate to do the project right, if you have consensus that that's the right way to do it, I think we should do it.
Yeah, it's a much better detail. It's gonna last a lot longer to have the work underneath changed out and set it in order. It's a much better detail. I hope we can find the money to do that.
Yeah, question is, if you're inclined to do a, what, 15,000 ad here? We still gotta do it via recommendation and go to city council. To, you know, the money is there because, you know, the fund continues to accrue the surcharges as they put it in there, so it's not like we have to wait till, you know, some date before we can make a recommendation for additional money. But that's what would have to happen, is you'd have to do a vote tonight to basically add 15 to this project. Reflecting the, it's not really a scope change, it's just
It's a better detail.
a detail change, and reflecting the bids. And then we'll do a order over city council and hope for the best.
I just had to defer the committee on the recommendation piece and the substance of it, but just I know when, you know, Kim and I deal with some solutions, we do project management, just given the limited timeframe of council meetings available for the end of the calendar year. And the timeframes for things like referrals to committee and all that kind of stuff. To the extent anything could get to the council, if it's gonna happen, as soon as possible, that's preferable. Mainly because they have council packet deadlines for things to get in there and cycle, and so, it just, unfortunately, we have to coordinate with the, you know, the chair, you know, budget and finance committee and so forth, so. If you are gonna do anything, just as a practical matter, it's obviously much more helpful and, you know, makes it more feasible if it's done sooner. Only because the weeks add up in between the other deadlines that then, you know, you would have to deal with trying to get something through the council, to your point. So, if you're going to do something, I would recommend doing it expeditiously if you're.
Okay.
Just got a question on this
Question.
maybe bigger picture, but then comes back to where we are. Does the council also get a report of from us, like how many projects are coming in under budget and how much money is coming back to the CPC? Are they aware of that, or does it, the knowledge is with us?
I don't think we,
Could that be part of communication?
I just think it's,
Yeah, it
I
could be.
think in the grand scheme of things, I think it would be great for the council to know.
Yeah.
How many of these projects are coming in under budget, whether because they're well managed or they were done in-house. And then it also puts this, a potential, if we were gonna go to them, it puts it in the lens of. the bigger
we can
picture.
actually put that in the
Yeah.
project summary, you know, the second paragraph.
Here's context.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, give them a list of the total and. Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we add 15,000 to the Atkinson Common Lily Pond coping line item.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. I forgot to say that last. We will work on the
Okay,
paper
okay,
this week, next week, whatever we can, go in and get it over there.
thank you. Next slide. So this was phase 2 of the Hill Street Gardens, the same neighborhood came back before you this past year. You awarded $9,000 for this project. It's currently out to bid. I am receiving bids this week. So far, 2 out of 3 of the bids are under budget, so I imagine this is likely gonna probably come back. A couple $100 will come back to you after the project is complete. Next slide.
So just in terms of management of that, I thought that was a Friends group that applied. Is that?
It
am I
is, but
thinking-
because it's city property, they can't,
city
for
property, right.
procurement laws, they can't bid this out. It has to
I
be a
gotcha.
member of the city, so someone.
Thank you.
What you do?
And so this is an overall breakdown, so not including the lighting, so the returning number, you can add an additional 7,000 to. Being returned to you is over $80,000. The budget gap for Patrick Tracy, which again, I'll come back in December, is 59,750. We could hold on the fountain, and then that brings the projects, the only remaining open projects, again, Bartlett, which we discussed, and then the Coping and Hill Street of all the projects are the only ones that are still active. And I expect that the Coping, if we can get approval from the council, Hill Street will likely be done this year, this fall. They wanna do that tree planting work before the end of the construction season, so I imagine that will be coming quickly.
Okay. Good. Any other questions for Kim? No? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thinking totality, all the project looks great. I mean, the firefighter memorial, you know, I mean, the split rail fence down on, Low Street. I drive around and look at all my, all the fabulous on it. Really.
Okay, you'll note in your packet that, you've got, other quarterly reports, that were circulated. They will be, filed. Are there any questions about those reports? I will mention that I talked to Caitlin before the meeting. There was a quarterly report from the school project over on Low Street. And we are reminding them that no money can be sent out to reimburse them for the work that's being done until the paperwork gets done on the access easement agreement, and so that is that needs to get done before the money leaves the house. Okay. We have the coalition membership dues. What's the amount on that?
4350.
Yeah.
4350. Okay, take a motion to approve payment of the dues as an administrative expense.
So moved. Seconds.
Okay, any questions, discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 3625. Take a motion to approve.
There's one thing I saw on there. I think it said, it said Chat GPT or Ask Chat GPT in the text somewhere. Like the 3rd or 4th page of the notes. I forgot which page I was trying to find it now, but. If you remove that, I think we can approve it. Did you find it?
I don't have it on me at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I haven't definitely
Yeah.
find it.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
You make that motion. Chuck's gonna second, I can tell.
Motion to approve the 3625.
Okay. Good, seconded.
Sure.
No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
And that's as amended. Okay. Andy, do you have anything to add, updates? No?
So no, unless anybody has any questions for any particular projects that we're working on, obviously we're excited to see whatever comes in the next cycle.
Okay. Jane? Okay, yeah, I just wanted to, let you know that, we will be, meeting with, the city attorney, just to double check on the structure of the, Brown School Affordable Housing Project and how the Affordable Housing Trust funds went in and the, payment went out to the city under their development agreement, to be sure that it was, structured and papered appropriately to meet, CPA requirements. Let's see, next meeting date. And we probably already have that with our, that'd be January 15th. Okay, this room, 7 o'clock. 26, whoa. Any other new business, old business, comments, complaints? Bad jokes, good jokes? No? Okay, motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Yeah, I second, and all in favor, yeah.
Hi.
Best one meeting.
Well, I need it.
7:41. Like the presentation.
Congratulations, Joe.
Oh, wonderful.
Just get-
It was great.
Something